I'm gonna make a full song right now using the best AI tools that are available today. And whether music is your hobby or it's your full-time career or you're just a music fan, I wanna dive into the current state of AI in music today. So what better way to start than to actually make a song from scratch right now with AI tools. And then after that, I wanna give you my opinion on where this could all go in the future, how it could impact your hobby or your career or the music industry in general. So the first part of making a song is just coming up with an initial idea you like. So there's lots of ways to do this. You could mess around on the piano, you can sing random things into a microphone, but now you can use AI. I want to be clear, this video isn't sponsored by any of these tools. So let's try a soulful, groovy piano sample at 124 BPM. This tool is pretty crazy. It actually creates 4 different sample packs around the prompt that you gave it. So these aren't really songs that it's creating. It's a pack full of samples, and these audio files we're about to listen to are the demo it creates from the sounds in the pack. It'll make more sense in a second. Honestly, that's a pretty cool idea for piano chords to start a house track with. I'm gonna save that one. So it says assembling sample pack, rendering sample pack. It's getting everything together. I'll show you what it looks like on my computer once it's all downloaded. But that was just the first idea, and I think the magic of AI is gonna be helping you brainstorm tons of different ideas and you diving into your favorite ones. So let's try out a bunch more. Honestly, that one's not bad either. I might download that one too. Now I just wanna add the word house to the prompt, see what it comes up with. So this is more similar to what this thing usually spits out. It's like a random assortment of samples and melodies and loops, and you're trying to listen for interesting sounds in there you could pick out and build a track idea around. Okay, I think we got kind of lucky with the first 2 options, so I'm gonna go with one of those. So these packs will show up on your computer as a folder, or you can go into the actual sample pack with all the parts separated. So let's see what this sounds like. Listen to some of these loops in here. Like, these chords sound amazing. Like, I've never heard AI be able to come up with chords like that. So it's making me wonder how these things are actually created. All right, so I was just messing around a little more, and I think I was right with my intuition. It is a little too good to be true. So I just typed in a similar prompt and downloaded a 3rd pack, this one right here. Now listen to this sample right here. And you can see the name of it, Apollo Whirly Phrase 8. Now if I go to the other pack, let's go back here, sample pack, piano, you'll see the same name, it's the same sample. Okay, so that explains a lot to me. At first, I thought maybe the AI was actually generating all these samples from scratch every time, which I thought was insane. I'd never seen anything like that, but this makes more sense. The company Output has like tens of thousands of samples and loops they use, and they're probably taking your prompt and figuring out what samples they have that would align with your prompt, and maybe they can time stretch them and put them in key with your track. Maybe they can't, but regardless, they give you a bunch of pre-programmed samples and loops that they think would fit together with your prompt, and then you download those. So the AI is working to arrange and create the pack, which is still pretty cool, but it's not actually making all these sounds from scratch. It was too good to be true. I knew it was too good to be true, but it's still a good idea generation tool, so let's keep going with it. All right, so I'm officially gonna use this one piano part to build the track around. And now I want to test out another tool, which is actually from Spotify, and it's a few years old, but it is completely AI. And this tool is called Basic Pitch. It converts audio into MIDI. So if I didn't feel like figuring out how to play those chords, I should, in theory, just be able to drag the sample into here. So it's analyzing the audio, it's gonna spit out a MIDI file that I can download. So I'm gonna download it. So now if I wanted to upgrade the piano sound, maybe use something a little more professional sounding, I could drag this MIDI file in. And let's see how accurate it is. It's probably gonna take some tweaking. So you can see it got the basic chords right, which is pretty cool, I think. But there's so many extra notes in there that don't belong, and it sounds really weird and robotic. So I'm gonna have to go in there and undo some things to fix it, to get the actual MIDI chords, when I probably just could have done that myself to begin with. And that'll be a common theme you see with AI and music, is you'll end up undoing a lot of things that the AI is trying to do because it doesn't really do it exactly right. But another idea I could do is I could just drag this sample into a sampler, then I can chop it up so I can play it on my keyboard. So now I naturally want to add a bass line and some drums to get this idea going. There aren't really any AI tools that can help me with that are actually useful, so I'm just going to do it myself. And then we'll get back to more AI tools like some mixing tools, some mastering tools, so you can see how all those sound. All right, I just messed around a little bit to come up with the bass and the drums. So here's the bass line with the piano sample. And then I programmed these drums in. And here's what it all sounds like together. But now I want to see what we can do with AI and my voice. Because I never sing, my voice doesn't sound great. Let's see if I can record my voice and convert it using some AI software to make it sound better.
Locked up, yeah, I'm all in. Late night, yeah, I'm calling.
All right, I just recorded a few vocal takes and then picked the best ones and tuned and timed them. So here's what it sounds like with no effects. And then we're gonna run it through some AI voice conversion software.
Locked up, yeah, I'm all in. Late night, and you're calling.
So I'm going to use this voice converter called kits.ai. There are a ton of other options out there, and they all pretty much do similar things. So I'm going to add in our vocal file.
Locked up.
So now I think we go to select a voice, and I kind of want a soulful sound, so maybe I'll use this male gospel pop one. Let's see what kind of advanced settings there are. Don't really need that. Conversion strength. I'm just going to leave them at 50%. I don't want any extra effects on there, so let's just hit convert. So it's already done. That only took a few seconds.
Locked up, yeah, I'm all in. Late night, and you calling.
It's crazy how it just transforms your voice into someone else's. But I don't know if that sounds that great. I should try a couple other voice options. 90s pop punk. Should we see what that sounds like?
Locked up, yeah, I'm all in. Late night, and you're calling.
It's kind of cool. I don't know if it would work for this track.
Locked up, yeah, I'm all in.
It's interesting how different models react to your voice in different ways. Like the input, what you record, and how it's processed matters a lot before you put it in here. It needs to be a clean vocal recording, but also just different voices will react differently when converting them with your own. So you got to test out a bunch of different ones. I just tested out a ton of different voices. I kind of like this dancehall one.
Locked up, yeah, I'm all in.
So I might use that, but I was also thinking maybe I could use multiple different voices to create background vocals for the lead vocal. There might be some phase issues, but let's see if it works. So I'm gonna download the male dancehall one,
Locked up,
and then this male pop rock one.
Late night.
Let's do this Afrobeat one too. So I just dragged the three vocals into the project file.
locked up, yeah, I'm all in. Late night, and you're calling.
And it sounds super dry and kind of lifeless because we haven't mixed it yet, but I'm not gonna mix it. We're gonna have AI mix it. So we're gonna use this plugin Nectar 4 to try to mix the vocal with AI. So it's gonna listen to the vocal, learn the sound of it, and make adjustments based on what it thinks it should do.
Locked up, yeah, I'm all in. Late night, and you're calling. I hold it down for you.
I don't love the sound of that. Let's try a different plugin that pretty much does the same thing.
Black dope, yeah, I'm all in. Late night, and you calling. I hold it down for you.
So this one got a little bit of a better tone, but it still sounds a little over compressed and distorted in the high end. I could go in and change these things after the fact, but I want to see how far AI can take this mix without me doing anything, so I'm not going to touch it for now. Let's see if I can make background vocals by panning these other vocal layers to the side and slightly moving them off the grid so they're not the exact same time. And I'm also going to slightly change the pitch of them just a little bit, because I have a feeling there'll be phase issues if they're the same exact pitch as the main vocal.
Black dope, yeah, I'm all in.
So that could be a way to thicken up a vocal and make it wider when I didn't record any background vocals. But now what I'm going to do is go through each layer of this track and run the AI mixing plugin on it and see what it does. And then I'm going to use an AI mastering plugin to master the whole track. So I'm not going to do anything else from here on out. I'm just going to let AI do its thing. So I just ran the piano, bass, and drums through that mixing plugin. Now I'm going to run the whole thing through this mastering plugin. But I do want to talk about the future of where I think this tech could be going in the music industry in the next few years. And then at the end, I'll show you the finished product that the AI has mixed and mastered. So the whole point of making this song idea is to show you what's possible right now. I wanted to do the least amount of work possible and just let AI do its thing. There are a lot of bad AI tools on the market, but the good ones all have two things in common. One, they're built into the existing workflow of how people already make music. So they're either in the form of a plugin or they create audio files that you can drag into your software. The second thing they have in common is they're good at getting you to a starting point. Like this vocal plugin, it's good at getting you to a relatively decent starting point for your vocal mix. But it's going to take some fine tuning. You're going to have to undo some things that the AI did to get it actually sounding professional. This plugin can't comp vocals, time and align vocal layers. It can't automate effects and background vocals throughout a track to actually add emotion to the vocal mix. There's a lot more that goes into making music than any one tool can do. But I think some people's biggest fear right now is you're going to be able to just press one button and an AI model is going to be able to create millions of songs that are better than anything that humans could do. I think to dive a little deeper into that, we need to look at the past. Making music has always been incredibly complicated and expensive. Just a couple decades ago, you needed $1 million studio with analog gear and specialized engineers just to make a song. Still today, you need like $1,000 to $10,000 worth of software and deep technical expertise to make a song. It's hard to make music that actually sounds good. I've spent the last 15 years trying to figure it out and I'm still working on it. But what's really the point of making music? Is to get the ideas in our head out into the world, to get the creative energy inside of us into a song. And it's looking like these AI tools are gonna help turn the ideas into your head into a song in a more seamless way than ever before, which also means people will be making more music than ever before. And I think a big concern is that these streaming platforms like Spotify will just be flooded with like millions of songs every day because people are making so much music using AI tools. The thing is, that's actually already happened. Over 100,000 tracks are getting released every single day on Spotify. 82% of those tracks get under 1,000 streams, and even crazier, 25% of tracks get 0 streams. This sounds bad, but it's actually a good thing. Imagine you have a taco truck next to a competing taco truck, and everything is the same. The price, the customer experience, the wait time, it's all the same except your tacos are 10% better. In this case, you don't just get 10% more customers, you actually should get 100% more of the customers. You're selling better tacos at the same price with the same customer experience. The same thing is true in the music industry. If you write music that's 10% better than other people's, you're not just gonna get 10% more streams, you're gonna get almost all of the streams. And you might think me saying better is completely subjective, but if you look at music as a product, then what's better is what resonates with the most people. So in the next couple years, we might be flooded with millions of AI songs every day, but in my opinion, I don't think anyone is gonna listen to 99.9 99% of them. Here's my simple opinion on all of this, and I want you guys to argue with me down below. I want to hear what you think, but I think that human creativity plus AI will always be better than AI. But if we want to take it a step further, I would add this. And this is an interesting formula because this part of the formula means that engineers at Google could use a model to make better music than you. But this is the part you have control over. If you have deep technical music skills and you stay up to date with how to use these AI tools, then I think that you're still gonna be fine. I do wanna end this rant by saying, people tend to think in extremes. People either think AI is gonna ruin music forever, or some people think AI could never replace human creativity. But like most things in life, the answer is probably somewhere in between. So back to the track, let's see what the AI did with the mix and master. I didn't touch the mix and master at all. This is all AI, so you can see what it sounds like.
Lotto, yeah, I'm all in. Late night, and you calling. I hold it down for you. I hold it down for you.
I think that sounds pretty bad, and it kind of reinforces my point that you're gonna have to work with these tools and use your own creativity to make them sound good, and you can't just rely on them to do everything for you. Let's all argue in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.